Not necessary for us to do that.
You want to be Kellyanna? You want me to say her full name or
You can just say Kaylee.
Kelly? Okay. Hey there, hi there, ho there. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Marshall County Today, the new talk show that's aimed at informing you about stories, people, businesses around your neighborhood. Hey, it's been a busy start to our Good Friday, and it's been a good Friday so far. We want to thank Chip Dean for joining us just a little bit ago, but today I want to introduce to you some wonderful kids and, of course, Crystal King, who is here as we talk about CEF. Now, if you're wanting to know what CEF stands for, it is the Child Evangelism Fellowship. And moms and dads, I want you to kind of pay attention a little bit closer than normal today because this is an organization that reaches our youth in ways that, quite frankly, a lot of folks don't want to do simply because it takes a lot of time, heart, and effort. And so, Crystal, first of all, we'll start with you. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well, and happy Good Friday to you as well.
Absolutely. All right, so let's talk about CEF. And, obviously the Child Evangelism Fellowship.
Uh-huh.
It's a wonderful organization that's now been developed. And uh, I guess we can call it an organization, right?
It is. We are the world's largest children's ministry. We are global in a lot of different countries, but we started in 1937 right here in the United States of America, and we've been working ever since.
Now, we also want to welcome everybody who's tuning in, or actually not only tuning in, but listening or watching on our Max 98.3 YouTube channel. It's Max 98.3 Stream! Exclamation point. That's Max 98.3 Stream! Exclamation point. And see these wonderful young faces that we're going to be introducing to you here in just a little bit. And Crystal, back to you real quick though. Talk a little bit about how you got involved with it, and why was it so important for you to get involved with it?
All right. Yeah, actually, I started in 2006 just passing out snacks and taking registration at a Good News Club in Rochester, Indiana. My church was the sponsor of it, and my pastor's wife asked me to come and be a volunteer, and that's where I started. Back in 2013, though, the Lord saw fit to put me into the position that I am currently, which is local director. And it's been a learning curve from that day forward, but it's been fun. So.
You and I you were here a few weeks ago too to talk about it, and the story is pretty awesome that how you kind of welcomed this into your life, and it's been a blessing ever since. And you brought some wonderful children here to kind of show that, and we'll talk to them here in just a little bit. But before we talk to the kids here, let's get specifics on this wonderful event that we're going to be here participating with on Max 98.3, and it's the third annual Beautiful Feet Bowl-a-thon.
Yes.
So talk about it.
Yeah, so this is going to be our third year that we are doing this event, hosting this event. It's going to be at Quick's Lanes on April 6th. We're going to have two sessions. We'll have a 10 to 12 session where you yourself, Tony, will be there with us. And then we also have a 12 to 2 session. All proceeds will come into the local ministry here, and 100% will be used to be able to help fund our Christian Youth in Action program. That's exactly what our teenagers are going to be talking to you guys about today. Christian Youth in Action is a training program where we train students from the ages of 12 even up to college age students on how to effectively share the gospel and the love of Christ with children. After their training, they go down to Indiana Wesleyan University, and after the training, they come back to our local area, and then we give them real life opportunities to put that training in place. So we're going to have all kinds of prizes at the Bowl-a-thon. Door prizes to give away, and we also have raffle prizes as well. You can go onto our website at www.cefnci.com /bowl-a-thon. It's bowl-a-thon, and then you'll be able to register there today to bowl for either session, and you can also check out our prizes. But I do have, Tony, if it's if I have the opportunity to share some of our sponsors
Yeah,
that
go
we have
ahead.
this year. Okay, and if you would still like to sponsor the event, we're still collecting donations. Again, this is going to help to fund our summer missions outreach, where we literally touch the lives of over 1,200 children every single summer. So we have First Farmers Bank and Trust here in Plymouth, First Federal Savings Bank here in Plymouth, Schoberg and Schoberg Incorporated in Plymouth, Baldwin Chiropractic in Rochester, Indiana, Laura Blackford, MD, here in Plymouth, Allstate Insurance, Tim Dowd Agency here in Plymouth, Eisenhower Home Improvements Incorporated here in Plymouth, First Baptist Church of Mentone, Burt's Body Shop here in Plymouth, Classic Barbery in Rochester, Indiana, Viken Paper Corp here in Plymouth, Uncle Doug's Barbershop here in Plymouth, Lowry's Cabinetry in Plymouth, Masterson and Associates Incorporated in Plymouth, Odell Lumber Supply in Rochester, Burr Oak Whistle Stop Store, Beacon Credit Union here in Plymouth, Fibertron in Elkhart County, Schumacher Family Medicine here in Plymouth, Quality Steel and Aluminum Products in Elkhart County, Stone Excavating here in Plymouth, Crossroads Evangelical Free Church in Plymouth, Johnson and Danielson Funeral Home here in Plymouth, Bourbon Street Pizza, Ann's Bargain Barn in Rochester, and Town Home Furnishings in Rochester all have given to help support this event. But we also have Midwest Springs and CTE that supports us on a monthly basis. And then again, we have all kinds of businesses that have donated prizes to our cause as well.
Well, I'm happy to hear that about half of that list right there is advertising with us, so that's great.
That's awesome.
I knew we have quality people here on the station.
Yes.
No, but all seriousness, this is going to be a fun event this on April 6th. It's a Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., but it's broken up in 2 different sessions. So moms and dads, sit down, talk with your daughter or your son and say, hey, this sounds like this is going to be a really fun time, and it looks like, by the looks of it, you're going to have a pretty good crowd for this. So,
well, we've passed out registration forms to every school in Plymouth and in Culver and Walkerton. We've been advertising for months, so I'd get your tickets soon because we are filling up.
yes, and again, to do that, is there a number to contact?
Yeah, just go on our website, www.cef.com/bowl-a-thon. And then you can register there. We do accept walk-ins, but it would be best if you pre-register just to ensure that you have your spot available.
Absolutely, and you've got to get that T-shirt too.
Yes, you got to get that
Let's not
T-shirt.
forget that. All right, Crystal, I'm done with you. I want to talk to these wonderful kids here you got to talk a little bit about being part of CEF, and let's start with you, Selena. You're a college student, right?
Yep, I am.
And where you go to school at?
I go to school at Grace College.
That's a good school.
Yes.
That's a good school.
Mhm.
So what are you looking to major in?
I'm majoring in elementary education and
We
minor.
need you.
Yes.
We need you.
And I'm minoring in management.
Fantastic. All right, so let's talk a little bit about you and your involvement with CEF. When did you first hear about it?
I first heard about it from a family friend. So he was the local director in Fort Wayne, Indiana, a few years ago. And so I wasn't doing anything for the summer, so he introduced me to Crystal, and then we kind of just got connected, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. So I did.
So talk about the first impression. The first time you participated with the program. I mean, was it what you expected, or was it completely different? Was it out of the box for you, or what?
Yeah. I grew up doing children's ministries with my dad also. He's a pastor and a missionary back in Cambodia, where I'm from.
Wow.
So I expected, working with children, songs, or just interacting with children. And then I got there, and I'm an introvert, so I was kind of shy. I was just trying to get to know everybody, but my expectations were met. The children there were really nice. The people I worked with was amazing, and so yeah, I really had a good time.
Was there a moment in at any juncture
Mm-hmm.
of being part of this where it was so impactful? It just made you like, this is it. I I found a little bit of I found a calling here, you know, to help out.
Hmm.
Was there a moment anywhere that you can remember that has left an impression for you?
Yeah, I don't have a specific moment, but what I enjoyed the most was, just traveling with the team. Because ever since I was little, I've always wanted to be part of a team or a group where we set out to evangelize to children and to, interact with children, bring joy to them, bring them something that makes them happy, and in this case, the gospel. So I've always been wanting to be a part of that, and coming to CEF, it has I'm happy to be a part of it. It's something that I've always wanted to do. And so also the idea of like traveling with my team and getting to know them, to be able to confide in them and to experience the moment together, I think that is what impacted me the most.
So I gotta ask you, you know, because of your family history
Yeah.
with your dad being a pastor in Cambodia,
Hmm.
how different is that from where you live in Cambodia compared to what you're doing now here with CEF programming?
Yeah.
And has it been beneficial?
It totally has been beneficial for me. Cambodia is a Buddhist country,
Mm,
so it's mainly Buddhism is mainly practiced there.
right.
But I grew up in a Christian household in a Christian community, so I was pretty much shielded from that part of the world. I do a lot, like I mentioned earlier, I do a lot of children ministries with my dad, so I'm very well familiar with the field. And we have VBS, Vacation Bible
Bible school.
School,
Mm-hmm.
there in Cambodia. So
Good.
I was part of the translation team, so I helped translate for missionaries who come from different countries to do that. So I was more of like a translator. I didn't do very much hands-on activities there, but here in CEF, I was pretty much, I feel more part of the team where I taught lessons, I interacted more with the kids. So it's not too much of a difference, but I definitely feel more intimacy with the children here than in
Mm-hmm.
Cambodia.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man. That's great. All right. Now I want to talk to next here is Kaylee King, and you also been part of this for quite a few years as well, huh?
Yeah, I'm going on my 9th year. Crystal is actually my mother, so I've grown up in the ministry.
You got a good mom.
I do.
You
One of the
really
best.
do. So talk a little bit about being part of CEF.
Well, like I said, this will be my 9th year in CEF. CEF has just been such a great thing for me because I've really got to connect with community, make friends, like Selena was saying. Selena's been a great friend. And get to impact the children in this community. It's a great thing.
You know, there's moments, you know, during I would imagine in your 9 years. I mean, so you actually been part of the program since 11. Is that correct?
It was 12. Yeah, I
12.
started when I was
Okay.
12.
I was never good at math, so I apologize.
Yeah,
But
12
at
is
12
when
years
we can
old, to
start.
where you're at right now with the program, looking back, kind of self-reflecting a little bit, how much do you feel you have grown in not just your spiritual journey, but sharing with others that spiritual journey? Because sometimes that's the toughest part when it comes to today's youth. You kind of feel like an outsider because you want to share your spirituality.
For sure.
You know, so talk a little bit about that because I think you probably got a pretty good pretty good thing to talk about here.
Yeah, so I would say even now, it can be a hard thing to talk about, especially in today's world, because you never know the reaction you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's going to be good, whether it's going to be bad, whether you're going to be able to make friends, especially in like workplace situations. But I would say when I first started, it was kind of like, oh, we have to raise support. I'm really uncomfortable talking to people about this.
Mm-hmm.
But I think through the years of doing this, you learn to know, like, you have to ask. You have to let people know. And if they don't respect that, then, you have to let it roll off your shoulders. You are doing what God wants you to do. And that is our calling. That's why we do Child Evangelism Fellowship, because that's where God wants us to be. And are you really going to ignore God?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing you don't want to do. That's one thing you want to try to avoid. And so I'm assuming throughout your term in the program here now, you've kind of encountered a lot of negativity toward it.
For sure.
Are we making progress though? I mean, it sure seems like we are, but it may not be at the pace we want. But I mean, are you seeing progress in today's young kids saying, saying, maybe I need to think about this particular spiritual journey that I really either know nothing about, or I know there's a God, but
Yeah, so here's the thing. I also work in an elementary school, so I see how our children today are growing up. I see the difference from even a few years ago when I was back in school to the children today. They are being taught less, they're not going to church as much, they're not being educated. So, in that effect, I would say it's kind of downhill, but through the ministry we're doing, we're able to teach these children who is Jesus, why does he matter, why is this such a great thing, and you can really see the impact it has on these children. My friend Peyton, who's about to speak, she has a great story on that. We've met multiple children who don't know who Jesus are. They don't understand that he was a real person. They don't know these things. So, yeah.
So Peyton Burke is with us here, and you are a 7th grade student at Tippy Valley, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about the program, and how is it fitting in for you as a 13-year-old at a high school where ideas, social media, everything becomes thrown at you, and you're trying to take it all in. And next thing you know, you get introduced to this program. And I guess maybe I should ask the question right off the bat. How did you get introduced into CEF?
So how I got introduced into CEF was through my brother, Andrew. He was a summer missionary for many
Yeah, bring that mic a little bit closer, sweetie.
he
All
was
right.
he was a summer missionary for many years, and he would bring back what he learned to our church, and he would teach the Bible lessons at our church. And I was in there at the Sunday school listening to him, and he did an invitation to ask Jesus into your heart. And I raised my hand, and that day I became saved.
Awesome.
And ever since then, I wanted to do this ministry. I've just wanted, since 8 years old, I've been waiting to turn 12 so I can do the ministry.
So here you are, 13 years old now,
Yeah.
and you started this wish of yours, this hope of yours. So we're in the early stages. You still got your entire life to go here, but how is it going for you right now?
It is going really well, and it's one of my favorite things to do in the summer, and I just love it so much.
So this program has met pretty much everything to you then, hasn't it?
Yes.
What's your favorite part of it? Is the fact that you now are able to, talk about the gospel?
Yeah. That is one of my favorite parts, is that I can talk to kids about Jesus.
Yeah. So if you had any encouraging words or to, well, kids and maybe even still friends, what kind of encouragement would you ask them, tell them about the program?
It's an amazing program, and sometimes you may look like, oh, you're Christian or whatever, but you're doing God's work, and you may get judged, but that doesn't matter at all to him.
Yes. That's a very good story. Thank you for sharing that. Eric, let's get to you here real quick. I'm a little bit running on time here, but you too go to Tippy Valley High School.
Yes.
And how many years you been with the program?
I've been with the program since I was 15, so about 3 years.
3 years. So tell us about your experience so far with the program.
So my experience. So the way I got introduced from it is Crystal, how she goes around, she does these presentations for it. That year I was saved, and it was my freshman year, I think. And so she went to one of my youth groups, and she was presenting it, and I just had this feeling like God calling me to do it and everything. So I went with it, and I loved it. I loved everything about it.
So now here you are,
Yeah.
18 years old, and you're sharing, and even listen, I know there's listeners right now that are hearing this, but they still, may not be, what's the word I want to use, invested in their spiritual journey yet. Um, you know, starting at the ages that you kids have already started at, you're the people who have the heavy burden of letting people know that, we're not all hot fire and brimstone here. You know what we're talking about. It's a part of it, but the deal is we're not here to shove it in your face. We're here to tell you, you don't have to hide. You don't have to be scared. You don't have to be. You have to be anything you don't want to be, but it is there. And I think that's the fact that you kids can sit here and behind the mic and be brave enough to say that is going to go an awful long way. And I think you mentioned a little bit ago about the way the world's happening right now.
Right.
It just seems we're kind of lost, and things are happening that, well, if you read the Bible, we need to start red flagging some things. You know what I'm saying? We need to start paying attention to what the good book says, because we're starting to see it happen all around. You guys have understood or understand this, and to me that just takes a special courage to do that at your age, because you guys face an awful lot of anti this and negative that because of your spiritual journey. And to hang in there and say, hey, listen, we exist, and you can too, and you don't have to be afraid about it. Is that what you kind of experience when you talk to your friends about being part of CEF?
Normally not. Usually, like, I'm more open to it. Like, I go out, like, there's these people at my school that are, like, atheists and everything. I talk to them about it, and I try to, like, tell them. They're like, no, I won't accept it. So I'm like, okay, I'll just wait.
Yeah.
And, like,
They're going to come back and talk about it anyways. I don't have enough faith not to believe.
yeah.
And that's the other thing. And then when I say that to somebody, they sit there and they go, well, what do you mean by that? And then I just explain, and like I said, you got to have a special courage, just like Jesus did when he was having his journey, performing miracle after miracle. If I had one wish, in my life, it would be to just see him work everything through his journey leading up to his death and resurrection. That's it. I don't need $1 million, but that's one thing I would love to see, because people would be absolutely amazed to see how much that what we go through our daily walk, the trials and tribulations, same things in the Bible. You would be shocked. I'm still learning, and I think it's just wonderful that there's an option, and for you guys to be doing what you're doing is pretty special, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. Where do you see this leading you? Is this, and that's the other part about this. You guys are at the early stages of your life. You seem to know what you want to do by being part of this program. So is it continuing with the program? Is it, well, what's that look like here for you in the future? And anyone just jump in on this one.
Well, I know for me, I've been with this ministry so long, and I've struggled with what does God want me to do. And while I'm not 100% sure for the far future, I know that I have just decided to join with our local chapter, North Central Indiana, to be their summer ministry coordinator. So that means I'm going to be working directly with the teens and their parents, getting them on board with this Christian Youth in Action thing. And for any teens or parents listening, I just want to encourage you that do the scary thing. If you are between the ages of 12 to 20, do this. Give it a try. You are going to get so many life skills. You're going to be doing amazing things for the Lord, and there's nothing to lose with this ministry.
No. Of course, you can always contact CEF.
Right.
And I'm just going to say Crystal, because Crystal, she has all the answers. And so give them a call, 315-8746. I want to go back to you though, and the reason why is this something that you have any intentions of going back home?
Yes. So, my end goal is to, well, I came here for college to get all the education that I need to be able to bring it back to home in Cambodia to
Mm-hmm.
give the students the right education that they deserve. So, when I joined CEF, I learned so many things and I got involved in so many things. So I'm hoping that when I do go back to Cambodia, I can incorporate some of the things that I learned, especially with training teens as young as 12, because back at home, 12 people say they're just kids, they don't know anything.
Mhm.
But, with the right training and with the right heart to do it, I think that children as young as 12 can do as much as, anyone can do.
Couldn't agree with you more. I got to stop there because I'm out of time. We going to see you guys bowling
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
on the 6th?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
well, I'll come back and, because we're going to be there, so I'll put you on the air again and put you on the spot. And I will make fun of you if you get a gutter shot. So just be prepared. Make sure you're throwing strikes. All right?
That's gonna be hard to do.
Thank you, kids, for being very courageous to come on the air and talk about being part of the program. It's awesome, and I highly encourage parents, if you're looking to do that for your child, give Crystal a call and let start from there, because that's really where it begins. And her number is 574-315-8746. So, my dear kids and Crystal from CEF, thank you for coming in, and we'll see you at the bowling alley on the 6th.
Amen.
Alright,
Thank you.
thank
All right. We have got to take a break, and we're going to get a little more education here as Greg Hildebrand is going to join us in just a little bit from the Economic Development Department, and so he's going to be here in just a few moments as we continue with more of the Marshall County Today Show. Nice job. Yay.
Awesome. Thank you. Hopefully you heard Peyton. I was like, speak up.
Yeah, you're good. No.